I used to believe in fairy tales, the kind where the prince was charming, love conquered all, and soulmates never strayed. My name is Vanessa Collins, and for the past 7 years, I lived in what I thought was a dream. A suburban home just outside of Portland, a golden retriever named Murphy, and a husband who kissed me on the forehead every morning before heading to work. That man was Blake Collins, 37, sharp jawline, CEO of his own tech startup, and the kind of guy who made strangers turn their heads when we walked into a room. We were the couple people envied, coordinated holiday photos, shared gym memberships, cute anniversary posts on Instagram. But like most picture-perfect frames, ours was cracked behind the glass. The sign started small. Blake working late more often, sudden business trips that weren't in his calendar, a new password on his phone. At first, I made excuses for him. He's stressed. He's building something big. I need to trust him. Until the night I opened his MacBook. Blake had forgotten his laptop in the kitchen while he showered. A notification pinged. Can't stop thinking about last night. You're amazing. The sender? Alyssa M. The subject line? Dinner at the Rosewood Hotel. My heart stopped. I clicked the thread, and within seconds, the illusion shattered. Hundreds of messages. Flirty texts, photos of hotel rooms, inside jokes, plans to see each other while Vanessa is at her sister's. Alyssa, it turned out, was not just a fling. She was someone Blake had been seeing for nearly 8 months. The worst part? She wasn't some stranger from out of town. She was a former intern from his company, a 25-year-old social media coordinator with bleach blonde hair, a love for spin class, and an Instagram account filled with selfies captioned with lyrics from Doja Cat. I didn't cry. Not right away. I closed the laptop, sat down with Murphy at my feet, and stared out the window at the quiet street. He had betrayed me, lied to me, built a second life while I ironed his shirts and reminded him to take his vitamins. I didn't want just closure. I wanted revenge. Some women scream. Others throw plates, cry in the shower, or drink too much wine. I made a spreadsheet. I listed everything I'd need. Screenshots of his affair, access to his financials, passwords, upcoming events, business partners, and, most importantly, Alyssa's digital footprint. My plan was never to go the petty route. I didn't want to key his car or post his dirty laundry online. No, I wanted to dismantle the kingdom he built on lies, brick by brick. And for that, I needed help. So I called someone who hated him even more than I did. My best friend from college, Tara Jensen, now a cybersecurity analyst with a side hustle in digital sleuthing. Tell me everything, she said, her voice tight with fury. And I mean everything. Within a week, we had everything. His email access, hidden transactions, deleted messages, even GPS tracking from his smartwatch. Blake had no idea his Apple ecosystem was a goldmine of secrets. Blake's 38th birthday was 2 weeks away. He was planning a grand rooftop party at one of the fanciest hotels downtown, all white decor, live jazz, catered by his company's private chef. Over 100 guests were invited. Investors, employees, even a few tech journalists. I RSVP'd with enthusiasm. What he didn't know was that I had personally worked with the event planner to include a special highlight reel to be shown midway through the party, a video montage of Blake's best moments this year. It started sweet. Photos of us hiking, cuddling Murphy, vacations we took together. Then it cut to a screen, the other side of Blake Collins. And what followed were screenshots of texts, emails, calendar events titled Alyssa Kissmark, photos of them together, and voice messages of him whispering, "I love you" to her at the end of calls. Guests gasped. Someone dropped their wine glass. A woman in the back actually yelled, "Oh my God!" And there he stood, Blake, frozen, his mouth slightly open, eyes wide. I took the mic and said, "Happy birthday, Blake." I thought it was time everyone saw the real you. Then I walked out. The fallout was nuclear. His investors pulled out, several citing personal integrity concerns. Alyssa quit her job, deleted her social media, and went dark. Blake tried calling me, texting me, even showed up at the house, but I'd already moved into a short-term loft downtown. The divorce papers were already filed. But I wasn't done yet. Through Tara's digging, We found hidden bank accounts. Turns out Blake had been funneling money to cover his trips with Alyssa under company expenses. I forwarded everything to the board of directors and Blake's co-founder. Within a month, he was voted out of his own company, unemployed, divorced, publicly humiliated, karma in full swing. 1 year later, I stood in front of a packed auditorium in Los Angeles, giving a talk on rebuilding after betrayal. I had started a blog, Reclaiming Vanessa, that gained over 1 million followers. Women from all over the world wrote to me, thanking me for speaking out, for turning pain into power. I'd turned my revenge into something greater, a movement. Blake? Last I heard, he was working freelance, trying to build something new. But in the tech world, your reputation follows you like a shadow. As for me, I was finally free. Not just from him, but from a version of myself who accepted silence, forgave too easily, and mistook routine for love. I now live boldly, unapologetically, with a deeper understanding of who I was, and what I would never again tolerate. Some say revenge is bitter, but mine, it tasted like justice. A year passed. The blog I started, Reclaiming Vanessa, had exploded into a global platform for betrayed partners seeking justice and healing. I'd landed a book deal, appeared on podcasts, and was in talks to turn my story into a docuseries. Life was full, vibrant, and finally mine again. But then, one cold January morning, a letter arrived. Not an email, not a DM. A real letter, sealed in a crisp black envelope with no return address. Inside was a single sentence. Not everything is what it seems. I stared at it for hours, wondering if it was Alyssa, wondering if Blake had somehow sent this, wondering if there was still something left undone. Curiosity is a dangerous thing. I had TerraTrace it. The address led to a rundown P.O. box in Seattle. We drove there, pretending it was just another girl's weekend, but we both knew we were chasing answers. Inside the box, a flash drive. We opened it that night on Tara's laptop. It held video recordings, surveillance footage, all dated a year prior. Footage of Blake arguing with someone who wasn't Alyssa, a man, the same man who had been mentoring Alyssa during her internship, a senior VP, married, closeted, and powerful. And there was Blake, not with Alyssa, but confronting this man in hotel rooms, heated conversations, whispered threats. The affair was real, but it wasn't the one I thought. Alyssa had been a cover. The real betrayal? Blake had been in a relationship with his male business partner for over a year, the very man who had helped vote him out of his own company. Alyssa was paid off to keep quiet when the breakup turned messy. It wasn't just about love. It was blackmail, manipulation, control. I sat in stunned silence. All this time, I thought I had uncovered everything. But Blake had been trapped too, in a different kind of lie. A prison of his own making, yes, but still a prison. I closed the laptop slowly and took a deep breath. I didn't feel pity. I didn't feel regret. I felt something else entirely. Power. Because in the end, I hadn't just taken down a cheating partner. I'd walked away from a web of secrets, survived the fire, and built something greater from the ashes. 1 year later, my docuseries premiered on Netflix. Exposed. The Cost of Lies. It ended with a shot of me walking along the Oregon coast, wind in my hair, no ring on my finger. A narrator said, "Sometimes the ultimate revenge isn't just destroying the lie. It's living so loudly that the truth can't touch you." And in the final frame, the camera lingered on my smile. Not bitter, not broken, but brilliantly free.